We live, man. Welcome to Wealth is Gangster, another high level conversation. I got a good brother from the city of Killeen in here with me today. You know what I'm saying? Big Van. I met him through I'm Possible, a nonprofit situation he had going, and now he's still continuing with that work and still continue with the community work and building with that. Today we're gonna go through his mindset, his shifts in businesses and now the movement. You see the merch in the back, you know what I'm saying? Be great on purpose. We definitely gonna touch on that, man. So what's going on, my G? Why don't you introduce yourself to the Wealth is Gangster family, man?
Man, what's up, Wealth is Gangster family? First, I want to thank you for having me on here. Commend you for all the great work you're doing, bruh. Like I follow you with the CEO Academy. I follow you with your interviews on here. So I'm subscribed to the channel. But just like you, young man, trying to change the direction of my family, trying to change my own personal story, and I'm just pushing through.
Okay, tell the people where you from. You know, I kicked it out, but tell them where you from and just the beginning parts of the sports. We're gonna cover that first. I know you high accolades when it came to track, so give them a quick little rundown of your from, a quick little up down of your upbringing, and lead us into the sports and how track took you to see things that some people don't never see.
All right. So I was born in California. I left California when I was 6, and my mom married I call him my dad, but he's my stepdad. Um, they got married when I was 6. We left to Germany 3 weeks after they got married from Seaside, California, and I stayed over there till I was in 6th grade. Then I came to Texas, went to Nolan, went to Ranfier, went to Killeen High, went to Houston Tillotson down in Austin, the HBCU for 2 years, fell off, went to junior college in California for 2 years, got a scholarship, ran for Nike for 4 years, and came back to the area in 2010. Um, Man, to be honest, when I came up, I graduated class of 99. So in Killeen, we only had Killeen, Ellison. Well, we only had Killeen and Ellison and Killeen, but we had Temple and we have Carper's Cove. And if you know at the time, the competition was really high athletically. I remember in track, Temple had a kid named Slim, and I was a high jumper. Slim stopped me from high jumping. So I went to hurdles. So I went to hurdles, and Ellison had some great hurlers. Um, Cove, they had Charles Tillman back then, Vontez Duff. So for me, my mindset was I'm just trying to be fast in my area, because we had not to forget the Carl Ivories, the Detrick Spillers, track Killeen, Central Texas has a deep track history, period. So just that was all I could see at that time was my area. So I focused on being fast in my area, you know, and through that, I didn't go off to college right away for track. I went to go play basketball and couldn't keep my grades up, chasing a girl and all that good stuff, making the decisions we hear our parents tell us don't make. Don't be running behind no girl. Yeah, I did that. It didn't work out good at all, So from there, I went to California and I went to go stay with my biological father and rebuild that relationship. And at that time, I was like, man, this gives me a chance to recreate myself. So I went out there and played basketball at the junior college. One practice, the coach said he got the key to my butthole to keep it PG. Meaning that no matter how good you are as an athlete, that coach is your mouthpiece. He's your resume. You could show all your skills, 3-point shooting, passing, be an elite athlete on the TV. Everybody know your skills. But it's the coach that calls the other coaches say he's a cancer in the locker room. he ain't gonna be on track, and you lose offers and things like that. And at that point in my life, I wasn't comfortable putting that control in his hand. So my very last junior college basketball game was at the same place we had our first track meet. And I just went out there and ran in the track meet, broke a 26-year-old school record, and really started looking at myself like, how do I really measure up nationwide athletically? And really saw I had a chance. So I just made a commitment. And I I'm sure throughout the conversation with the word purpose will come up a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, I hated California. I'm a Southern boy at heart, but Cali was way too aggressive for me. Out here, we say what's up to everybody. Chunk the Deuce was out there in Cali. You say what's up? What's up? Where you from? It's a whole different meaning.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
different energy.
So for me, I was planning to run my way up out of California, meaning I was going to use my legs and my mind to give me a scholarship to go anywhere and open up some more doors for myself. That became my purpose at the time.
That's what's up, man. And you say you ran for Nike. How was that experience? You know, a lot of kids dream of that, man. What was that like? Now that you sit back and think of it, I know at the moment you were just riding on the high, but now that you sit back, the good, the bad, how was that experience?
So I'm gonna tie it into some recent stuff too. Like I know we both talk to kids a lot. We both talk to a lot of adults. Anybody listening,
Yeah,
whatever your vision is, get as detailed as possible with it. And I say that because for me, I just wanted to make it pro. So when I got the pro, I never looked past what to do as a pro, what a pro lifestyle is, or anything. I just wanted to make it pro. And my mind took me as far as I could see. So now looking back at it, kind of led me in a journey to where I am. As a track athlete, you really make a lot of money promoting yourself. Um, in college right now, they call it getting paid off your likeness. You know, back then I had no idea about entrepreneurship, nor did I care. But when I became with Nike, I had a developmental deal. I became a product. They gave me a $2,000 stipend. I'm living on Miami Beach, like 3 blocks away is South Beach. I got a $2,000 stipend in an apartment. So in Miami, that's nothing. So I'm still working at CVS overnight. You know, I'm still out there hustling and trying to make it. Not having the mind of an entrepreneur and knowing how to use my likeness, I'm looking for jobs and jobs and realizing like I'm working at CVS from 11 at night to 7 in the morning and trying to go practice as a professional athlete. And it wasn't cutting it. I started having major injuries. My body started breaking down in different little ways, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So at the time, it just felt like life was over, to be honest. Like
yeah.
when you hear these guys talk about all they know is that athletics, all I knew was athletics, bro. Like I
I,
didn't.
I get it, man. And you know, like I say, that was one of the reasons I created CEO Youth League because of those stories. You know, like I dropped out of school way earlier, so I didn't even get to the heights that you got in sports. But it was still from the person that dropped out earlier or the person that went all the way through, the story kind of ended the same for most of us. Like I tell people, only half of 1% gonna ever see a professional check, and half of them still end up broke. You know what I'm saying? So
And
what
it's
about
like,
the
yeah,
99% of the people? And most of us when we get a ski, when we're born, we get a football, we get a baseball, we get a basketball, or we're taught track from birth. So, like you say, when you get 18, 19, and you like, hold on, this ain't gonna happen for me. I don't have nothing else to think about because I wasn't implanted nothing else but this all my life. So really, this is my life. So what do I do outside of that? You know what I'm saying? So I love that you spoke on that because that's one thing I'm always speaking about, that we gotta plant more seeds in the youth early. So even if the sports don't work, they got so many other things planted that they're okay. They're not feeling lost.
yeah, you constantly talk about that. I watched so many of your events, and you bring that up so many times. Like, yeah, bro,
That's
that,
key,
that's
and that's
dope.
why I like to present people like you that went through that got the high accolades in it, but still had to realize that, like you said, when you was on Miami Beach, if you was implanting some different seeds about business and stuff, ain't no telling what you'd have did right there. You probably could have came up with something right there on South Beach and blew up off that. You know what I'm saying? But those seeds wasn't planted, and that's what we have to do as a community: plant more seeds in the youth other than sports. Like they can still play the sports. There's nothing wrong with the sports. The only problem is we're only fed sports, and the percentages say most of us will never make it in it.
Yeah, I'm the first one on my mom's side because I'm the oldest grandchild. My on my dad's side, just our immediate circle too. But well, my dad's immediate family, I'm the first one to graduate too, you know. So the first one to see college, the first one to have those experience. My parents didn't have those experience at the background, in the background. So even when I went to Middle Tennessee, being lost and not even being able to capitalize, knowing how to capitalize off the true experience, not knowing how to network. You know what I'm saying? So
There. Like you say, just looking for a job and trying to go to school. That's it. Trying to the basics. I just know how to do the things I'm told to do, and that's it. We don't have no
yo,
other.
we knew how to party. Back then, Jeezy had the Jeezy and Gucci was still getting along. They had the Grey Goose on. So we
Oh,
financial aid checks buying a 5 foot we called it midget bottle. It was
yeah.
about 5 foot tall, just doing some stuff, not knowing.
Not knowing
That
what I could really be doing.
we could have bought a piece of stock with that same bottle. Just one of them bottles, we could have bought a piece of stock and all been retired right now.
Yeah, you have some chilling right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so true, man. So that's why it's important to tell these stories as we tell them about the stuff that we made it to and how we made it through. We definitely got to always show the kids that we were at that spot. And it's not against going against sports. It's about just being having yourself more opportunities. That's the only thing I teach. A lot of people think I'm against sports. I'm not against sports per se. I'm just against only feeding our youth sports only. You know what I'm saying? Like, because most of them not gonna make it. So I feel like if you only feed them something that most of them will never make it in, that's kind of like that's bad parenting. That's bad, mentorship. That's just not bad. That's bad advice.
yeah. And you said the key word, opportunity, right?
Yeah,
Because if you take poor, POOR, passing over opportunity repeatedly.
yeah,
So if you want to end up with a poor mindset, pass over the opportunity to repeatedly grow your mind. If you want to have a poor relationship, pass over the opportunity to say sorry, to say, okay, let's talk, to put the wall down. You want to have a poor athletic career, miss practice,
yeah.
you know. So just making sure you're taking advantage of opportunities and gaining as many as possible.
Facts, facts. So you said you got to that spot when you realized that your body breaking down, the sports ain't gonna work. What inspired you to even start? Like you said, you didn't come up business savvy and around a bunch of entrepreneurs. What was your first inspiration or first thing that was presented to you that made you think about I got to get into the business side of everything?
Okay. That so while I was in high school, we could get what we call a hardship license.
Okay.
Because this is my stepdad now. My dad was overseas, so I could get that hardship license. But he also went back to Germany and came back with a new BMW. And I had that hardship license in that new BMW. I didn't know who Jeff Gordon it was, but you could have swore I was Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
that's right.
naturally, what would have happened if I told my mom about all these tickets I got? She would have took that car ASAP.
Yeah.
So I hid those tickets. So after coming back, I came back in 2010 running for Nike and I always wanted to be a teacher. So I really didn't like the school subject that wasn't my heart to teach, and but that's what my degree is. So naturally, I went to school. Like what I all said is I'd be able to be a coach, but I had so many tickets that it canceled out.
Yeah.
I'm playing the course like I'm sure a lot of high school kids graduating. You're like, man, I'm never going back to my hometown. I'm moving far away from home. So I had tickets here just waiting that I never planned on
Yeah.
going up with. So I didn't know they were waiting on me and they had turned into warrants. So it stopped me from being able to get any type of job. And I'm talking about Burger King, McDonald's. I can't pass background checks, you know. Then all of a sudden, every time I get pulled over, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. And I finally just had to say, like, man, who am I as a man? Who do I want to be as a man? Who do I want to be at this time? I had 2 kids. Who do I want to be for them? And is this the cycle I want to
Keep going.
raise them in? You know? So my grandma, she always said, never fight nobody uglier than you are because they don't know when to stop and they always want to leave a permanent mark, you know. And I felt like society had me as an ugly child. You know, I remember getting pulled over going to jail in Corpus Cove. And the judge just looking at me and said, oh, you're a repeat offender, you a thug, you boom. It just sent me to county. Didn't give me a chance to say nothing. Here I am with degrees, professional career. And I'm like, man, no matter what, this is how they gonna look at me. You know, so I the first thing I had to do was take accountability and say, if I'm not gonna be here, I got to get my license straight. So even though it was some ugly times, I've been to jail over 15 times trying to get this license straight, you know. So in the midst of that, I'm like, well, I have to do something mentally to keep me from not doing nothing illegal. Um, Even though I was down and was ready to really do some stuff to change my situation, I wanted to make sure I do it right because by this time I had 3 kids and I had 2 boys. And I just wanted to always be able to look at them and say, no matter how bad it gets, you don't have to turn to nothing wrong, you know, because I did it. So I had no time on my hands. So I created a curriculum around picking yourself up through adversity, finding a purpose to focus on. Um, I was watching an interview with you and Vic, and as you guys talk about boundaries, but I use my purpose to set these boundaries. You know, if it didn't help me advance in my purpose, I wasn't moving for it. And I was spending time and growing and learning in it. So I created this curriculum. And that's what I use to keep my mind focused on growth. Uh, Progress equals happiness, right? You've never seen nobody sad that's making progress. So in order to, it's called the cookie jar principle, where you go back to pull from your old achievements to build yourself back up, right? So um, I'm just creating this course, using it as I'm going to jail. You know, growing up, Tupac used to say, you don't got to be in jail to be doing time. And that just stuck out with me. I didn't understand why, but while I was in jail, an old head told me, man, youngster, while you in here, don't let the time do you. So I said, what that mean? He said, stop waiting on time to wait. He said, find something to do. So I was like, well, shit, it's a bunch of stuff I want to do mentally. Let me get to writing. Let me get to writing. So each time I'm going to jail, I'm writing, I'm reading. I'm writing, I'm reading. When I'm outside of jail, I'm writing, I'm reading. I went through a stint where I squatted in a house. I lived in a friend's garage. But during those same times, during those times, the one thing that was consistent was making progress towards my goal. So I never allowed myself to beat my situation. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was in it, I wasn't it. I was just there for a moment of time. And so just using that to pick myself back up.
No, I want to let you keep going, but that is so big because I tell people all the time about mindset, and
Mhm.
and when you're ready to really go to the next level or get out of the level that you're on, it always because a lot of people will be like, man, when I get my money right, then I can change. When I get this right, I can change. I tell people you got to start with you got to start broke with nothing but with just your mind, because I'd rather deal with somebody that don't have no money but have the right mind than somebody that have a lot of money without the right mind. Because I can do more with the person with no money but the right mindset. We can get to the money. We can find the money. We can work it out. We can work that out. But if you got all the money but your mindset somewhere else, we can't get nowhere. So for you saying that, that's big because that's something I'm always talking about. You got to start with just the way you think, and then everything else around you will change. It's not about, well, when I get my income tax, I can change, or when I get this, I can change, or somebody just help me out, I can change. No, you start mentally, and then everything else will happen around you. So I just want to highlight that part because that's big to me about you just talking about it just was mental. You didn't have nothing. You was in a bad spot. You was in jail or you was staying with somebody, but mentally you were already free and trying to get to this point where you headed to, where you at today and where you headed to.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
And
that's big.
and in that situation, going back to what my grandma said, when you lost, go to church.
Yeah,
So I started going to church and I started learning different things about like the Bible, God. One of the most commonly used words in the top three commonly used words in the Bible is abundance.
yeah,
you know. So I went to start searching what is abundance? What does it mean? Then it started talking about yourself. We all got a word. How do we get that word? The
yeah,
story and the talents come up. Well, what's your talent? Well, we all got a bunch of talent. So for me, I chose to focus on my voice and my mindset. Those are my talents I was gonna focus on. So let me find out how can I eventually get my work? Since I can't go get a job right now, how can I build my work? You know, Voice mindset. Oh, it's a whole field over here. I could get paid off for speaking, share my story. Oh, hold on. How do I win in this field? This is the entrepreneurship field. Ain't nobody gonna hire you. You have to build yourself, take accountability. So I started looking up entrepreneurship. And one of the things when we talk about mindset that I had to adapt from was wealth is bad, you know. So even the difference between business and entrepreneurship, and
yeah,
what I discovered, business we make money for ourselves. But entrepreneurship, we're creating a system that's going to hire other people and grow because not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, which is fair. We understand, but we all need each other. So every job, every house, whatever the job, whatever the company was, started with one person somewhere in a group, but they hired people where others could make a living. So it's such a selfless act in that as well. And as passionate as I am about community, why not find a way where I could use something I have to give to my community to build a lifestyle?
yeah.
And that's what I went into creating. And that's kind of how I got into entrepreneurship because I couldn't find that job.
Yeah, and I got a mentor that talk about he'll be working somewhere right now if he didn't have a felony on his record for the simple fact he only reason he got into business is because when nobody hiring. So
Yeah,
he was forced to do it because he didn't know nobody about no business. He was forced into it. Now that was the biggest blessing of his life being told no to a regular job. Now he giving out
and
hundreds
that
of jobs.
and that's part of our fight, what I'm proud of us for doing, because for us, most of 90 to 99% of the people older than us that came before us, they were forced into that path.
Yeah,
We're trying to make it exposed enough where kids choose this path.
Yeah, yeah, giving it to them where it's a natural option because we talk about business now to our youth. They be like, "What? You know, it's not natural to even hear about that." So that's my first thing because people always say everybody not into business, but I really fight against that because life is business. Having a relationship is business. Everything that you do in life is still business. You might not want to run a business, but you still have to run your life, your household, and everything a certain way, or it's gonna be good or bad. That's the same thing as business. You got to run. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the right people around you in your life, good or bad, and that's going. So that all that stuff to me still connects. So even if you don't want to run a business, we have to think about operating our lives in a business form. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I fight against that a little bit, but I love your journey because you like I say you seen it because a lot of people I grew up super bad or I grew up super good. It's like you got a little mixture of both of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it's just one side of it. You had a mixture of both, and then that's why I like to highlight the accolades of the Nike because most people will never get that accolades, but then you see the bottom of it too where it just didn't work. Like you say, my body failed on me, and this and that. What I'm gonna do? Now you go into the everyday problems like everybody else have licenses and stuff, just stupid stuff that derails your whole life, man. They got a system out here that you can really mess up your whole life because you have a bad license. That don't even sound right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That don't
Like,
even sound right.
like, bruh, I'm telling you, we go through this application, and when they say, "Do you have a valid license?"
Yeah.
We didn't even think about that. We worried about, man. We got to write down our criminal history.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
already had it to him on the license part
yeah.
because from them he can't get here. He's gonna have trouble getting. It's like that.
And you forced to do that. So once you got what was your first business or what was your first business venture? What was your first thing dealing in business?
It was called TSI. It was a marketing company. We did club promotions. I was throwing events, and I had a group of people. And I remember, Diesel.
Yeah, yeah,
Diesel
yeah,
was part of the group. I remember we was at an event, and I'm probably gonna give away way too much for the channel, but transparency real. But we was at an event. We had just do a club event. Came home with some girl, drunk, whatever, trying to get her to leave. Trying to get her to leave in a nice way.
yeah.
Where your kids at? Don't you gotta go to your kids?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to get my kids back. What you mean? CPS took her kids? Why? Man, drinking and all this other stuff. Boom. And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here trying to call myself a community person, throwing club events, using liquor to get these girls here when so many of them are losing their kids because they're really trying to be at my event or whatever. So I felt some type of accountability. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even, it just didn't sit right with me. So from that point, I started trying to do fundraisers. The first fundraiser I did, it was for the Fancy Prancy Dancers. It was at Long Branch Park. Um, got my club people. We came out. Got a couple car clubs that come out. Diesel filmed the video there. We raised about $2,000 for them. We went. We redid their studio. We painted their studio downtown. Um, then I threw a four-city fair with the hopes of raising money for some Colleen organization, youth organization. But during that time, football season was already over. So um, that was it. But then I took my course and I started renting out buildings and giving my course to kids, going to churches, going to, the typical get it out the mud route,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
And that's how you got into it. So what made you switch from business to like thinking nonprofits?
Because the nonprofit is the third largest sector in the world. If you look at the top 10 CEO salaries versus the top 10 non-director salaries, It's over a $5 million gap difference. It allows me to stay within my moral code, giving back, building and using to give back to grow something. I also want to be able to write unlimited salaries for myself, for my other people. Whenever my organization lands in a community, I want to be able to pay people not to survive in the community, but to live in the community. You know, so one of the things that just happened in California 2 years ago, a nonprofit took their and this is nothing for California because they were still whatever, but he made the what is that thing? Everybody's salary. He made it 70,000. Everybody part time. Everybody just had a salary of 70,000.
Yeah.
And one of the major companies sponsored it for 10 years. Reebok or somebody.
Yeah.
But thinking about living in community, having a average salary of 70,000, how does that change the communities in this neighborhood? 2017, I ran for city council. And on that run, I learned our demographic is largely single parents with multiple children, right? So when you think about Killeen doesn't have an industry, so we're not really making a livable wage. But then if you have a son and a daughter and they want to play youth football in cheerlead, that's a struggle already. Then if you get, remember I'm coming from not having a license, so if you get one ticket, what is that going to do to your financial situation? And if you get discouraged by that, that ticket turns into a war. Now what does that, you know what I'm saying? It creates a cycle. And because we don't have a big industry here, we do have a lot of tickets written. We do have a lot of speed traps. And from studying behind that wall, I'm just putting it together from my perspective. We don't use tickets to trap people. We use tickets to bait you. Whether you miss that court date, that's going to happen when you really can't take off of work. You know what I'm saying? When we have city council meetings, they're planned when you're at work. When most of our, so now you're stuck in the system again. And if you're not using your mindset, you're going to constantly fall in that rat race. So just using the nonprofit world, using what's around me, I have the biggest military base, so let me see how many grants I can get to do something and change this community. And then, so like Rolex, did you know Rolex was a nonprofit?
Nah, I didn't know that. I ain't never heard that.
Rolex is a nonprofit. The NFL was a nonprofit. The NCAA was a nonprofit. But a lot of companies are going to 501c9s where you don't necessarily get a tax benefit for donating, but you get your financial is non-disclosed. So there's no telling how much or how little money you have in it.
You don't got to show all that.
Yeah, so just using a nonprofit, and then just looking at, I come from an event background. So any event is a fundraiser, from Summer Jam in New York to the Grammys, NFL games when you look at them, so just using the system.
That's the key thing, using the system. Because I tell people we talk about the system, but really if we just learn how to operate and play within the rules that's set up, we can win off it too. The problem is we just don't understand it and we don't know it. We never been taught that part.
Yeah. And that's another big thing in our culture.
Yeah.
The things we haven't been taught, being the first, all that. That's what I meant to say about my grandma. when she say, "Don't fight the ugly child." Like in this system, I'm the ugly child no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, if I use Jay-Z, he gonna tell me I'm still a nigga. That's what they telling him, even with a billion. So I know I'm the ugly child. So I might as well just go run and get as much as I can. Whether I win or fail, I got the story to report. Because what we need is somebody to say, "Oh, you want to do this? Okay, cool. When you do this, you need to go to the right. Don't go on the left. Look, I ran on the left, and there's potholes on the left.
Yeah.
You know, but if you run on the right, boom, I know how to help you get through a pothole. But now we got two of us that when you know, said we ran on the right, we ran on the left, bro, run up the middle. You know, next thing you know, we using all our knowledge. Well, shit, it's the mastermind principle.
Yeah, yeah, nah, and that's big, and that's what we need to do and push more, like you say, as a culture, because we have our individual people that get it, or a sector of people, but us as a whole don't win because it's still so many more that just don't even get it, never been introduced to it, or don't even care about
Yeah, and my mental philosophize things kind of weird, right? They show this statistic talking about how as black people we don't own nothing and we don't have this and we don't have that. And I'm like, well, if I don't have nothing, what's stopping me from going to get everything?
it. Yeah,
What I got to lose? I already ain't got nothing. What I got to lose?
yeah,
So what's stopping me from going to do whatever it takes to get as much as I can? You expecting me to lose anyway.
yeah. Just that mental. It's mentally. That's why I said they took out the chains, but the chains are still around brains. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not physically shackled down, but mentally we still are. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always talk about, just when I do the work in the community, a lot of people get discouraged because no matter how much work you do for the people, especially when it comes to our people, it seems like those be the first ones that's against you, that talk bad about you, that don't support. But like I tell them, it's not that just comes with the program, because we're so all program. We all program. We all, even the ones that's like me, I think on a different level than I used to, but I still got to remember that I was programmed that way. So me coming up out of that, that's a process. So I can't just look down on the next person because they haven't been through their process yet,
It's
And once
not,
you think
it's
like
not
that,
an
you
easy
can
process.
understand. Yeah, yeah,
It's not an easy process at all. And you're gonna have to go through some shit in that process, And I'm
and
kind of
some lonely days, and some ugly days, especially
yeah,
because when everybody start looking at you crazy, when you start thinking different, you start moving different, because you're on the right page, but to everybody else, you kind of like off page, because it's like, man, what you doing? That's why they look down on you and all. You change and all. You this, you that, because to us, you need to stay settled in this poverty mind state, in this poverty living, or you think you too good now. That type of thing. I came up with a slogan, a word that I say on her, like, you're not gonna wealth shame me. Like, how people talk about fat shame and this and that. Because the first thing, like somebody like me that come from the streets and all that stuff, you start talking about stocks and bonds and this and that and doing something right with your money. Good. Yeah, you know that. Now you can't wealth shame me. I'm not better than nobody, but I want more than most. So no, I'm not gonna allow you to wealth shame me, just like you wouldn't allow me to fat shame you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing that.
well, yeah,
Yeah, don't let nobody wealth shame you, man. And wealth ain't always got to do with money. Like I tell you, it starts with mind. So just because you broke, but if you start thinking wealthy in your mind, it's gonna be people that react to that, because when you think wealthy in your mind, you move different. You're saying you respond different, you talk different, everything about you is different, and people gonna pick up on that. And that's when you're gonna get the little funny little remarks, this and that. But you just gotta stay committed to wanting to break them curses of our generational curses.
absolutely. Because
So
you like in that same vein, it had me thinking of Nipsey and that book, The Ways of the Superior Man. And it talks about how keeping your purpose, your talent forward as a man, no matter what. And one of the things I used to do was I get a girlfriend and I want to spend time with her, boom, boom, boom. Nah,
yeah,
keep your purpose and your thing first, because if you do, she has to come around you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So she already knows you're going to be in your purpose. But even outside of that, like coming back to your wealth shaming, giving you that purpose is going to give you that drive. Stay forward on your purpose. As long as you're growing in your purpose, like the old folks say, the cream's gonna rise to the top.
Every
You
time.
know, one of the things that's tricky about our culture is motivating because it's going back to what you're saying. Like you could be in the same place with somebody and you could rise and you can look back and like, bro, I was right there. I know you could. We was right there together. And they're gonna look at it and be like, nah, dog, that's too much work. That's
Yeah.
too much work. And you're like, bro, I did it. Come on, you can do. Nah, bro, that's too much work. So I learned we have to focus on what we're doing, dominate our lane, no matter what. Like you said, we're not allowing no wealth shaming, but dominate their lane. 'Cause the more you dominate their lane, the more of those wealth shamers start shifting.
Yeah.
You know?
And it got to become a part of like I said earlier, it got to become natural to us. See, like right now, what you say is like work. I did a presentation the other day talking about how to build a nation. You know what I'm saying? We got to feed ourselves, employ ourselves, house ourselves. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. And one of the guys in the chat was like, "Man, that's a lot of work." I'm like, feeding yourself and employing yourself and educating. See, we so used to the system doing all this for us. All we do is just wake up and live. They got a job for us already. They got food at the grocery store for us already. And that's what but we'll be the same ones that cry about we want to be free. We want this and that. And I say a lot of us don't want freedom. We just want to be treated better. Because true freedom means I need to know how the sewage plant runs. I need to know how the pipes under my house run. Like that's too dirty. That's too much work for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
Let's even go back further. If slavery happened like they say it happened, then what was Juneteenth really like? Like when the master said, "You're free," how many people really walked off that plantation and said, "Ooh, I don't know what's out there. Nigga, I'm gonna figure it out before I stay here." Versus saying, "Oh, master, if you let me stay in the cottage, I'll pick half the field."
And the thing about it is, like, still to this day, a lot of them said they wanted to stay there. They didn't want to go. That's documented that a lot of people didn't even want to be free because they so programmed that I need to work for you. I need to feed. I need to do all this stuff. Now you telling me I got to go do everything on my own. And it was a trick bag because they was like, you're free, but you're not really free if you can't employ yourself, if you can't house yourself, employ yourself, if you can't feed yourself, are you really free? You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, they probably did it at night. We scared the dog. So the first thing they said, woo! I know, nah, dog. I'm here at least in the morning. I'm at least here in the morning.
But the important thing that what we're talking about, the important part of it is go back to just your mind state.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And we were doing all the work back then, but a lot of us people still didn't want to be free because we never did the work for ourselves. We did it for y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? We did everything you told us to do, and you did most of the thinking. All we had to do is do the physical labor. It's still people to this day that just want that. Like, just let them do all the hard stuff. I just show up and work. I ain't gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna probably die broke. I'm living check to check. All that's cool because I don't have to think in that other hard stuff. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I did that in that presentation. Like, if that's the way you think it, you really don't want to be free. You just want to be treated a little better.
And that's kind of what I was saying too about the entrepreneurship. Yeah. Like building that system to where they can work because that's the only way you can help them. Like even though we had that mindset, they still on the team. How do we keep you on the? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's about people like us that can provide that can build up something, build a system that the ones, because it's gonna be some people that just gonna be like that. And it's not about converting them, like you said. It's up to us to build a system where they'll be a little more comfortable in, they'll be a little more situated. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always talk about building a system inside this system. Of course, this system is powerful. They got all the money, they got all the resources. Okay, cool. That ain't even my vision. My vision is how can I feed myself? So when you see me with the chickens or the bees and stuff I do in my everyday, that's me starting that. When you see me with the real estate, I'm thinking about how can I house myself. When you see me at the thrift store, the different businesses, now I'm thinking about how can I employ my people. So my real life every day taps into that. And no matter if it's on a huge scale or a small scale, it's something that started in motion. And that's what a lot of our people, we scared to just get stuff started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're gonna continue with that. But I want people to, because one thing I really like about you when I think about just the way you process information and the way you teach, you know what I'm saying, like a life coach. But when it comes to like the I'm possible, be great on purpose, what's in your mind that has you come up with these different phrases and these different terminologies and terms that you're always kicking out? Because I'm like and then after you say that, go ahead and break it down to be great on purpose. What kicked it off and how you kicking it off with the clothing line and everything else.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Impossible because that was first.
That's the
So
beginning.
when I was going around renting these places, uh, people when I was telling them my idea, they was like, "Man, okay, whatever. That's impossible.
Yeah,
Whatever." So,
yeah,
and one day I was in church, and in the Bible, Matthew 19:26, it summarized, say, with man, I'm just summarizing, with man, things are impossible, but when you put God, they're possible. And I'm just thinking, like, man, we know we did not come up with these 26 alphabets in this
yeah,
language. So even as we try to outsmart God and try to describe something that can't be done, God already told you, I am. The definition of I sure and I am, I. So we can't, the man came up with impossible, but God said if you break it down and put me in it, it says I'm possible. So now I started using that as energy when people were going around talking about, oh, what you doing is impossible. Yeah, dog, I know, I'm getting real excited.
yeah,
And it seems crazy until Chicago 2 years ago, he said the realest thing to me ever. He said, bro, I really used to think you were crazy. You used to always go around talking about this team center, this film,
yeah,
and the team program, and you doing interviews on it. Well, and it's here. Like, yeah, I'm just speaking it into existence. I'm just speaking it into existence. So I want to motivate people too. And I had a mentor, Chemo 7. He has the oh man, I forgot his program. Damn, I hate. But he has a youth program too. My mentor, Chemo 7. But he asked me a question. He gave me a challenge, and it took me 2 weeks going home with headaches and everything. He was saying, he said, "Van, how?" He said, "What can you give someone every time they're in your presence that's going to make them better than when they came before?"
that's deep.
Took me the longest, forever.
Yeah,
But in the midst of that, he taught me like how the mind works. Like the mind remembers sound bites.
yeah,
The mind sees pictures. So if I could send you away with a sound bite or give you a picture of a sound bite that could positively inspire you without me talking, I could do my job without doing it. So I named the program, instead of impossible, I'm possible. And when people say, well, how does your program work? The full name of the program is Impossible Paradigm Shifters. Paradigm shift is a change in the way you view things. So of course people see they say impossible. I say no, the word is impossible. They be like, oh, I see that, yeah, and it sticks with them.
yeah.
Like you haven't even been in my program and it already worked.
For real, for
You
real.
know. So then, so in our journey, um, it's damn near the same information as Be Great on Purpose, but it's geared. Be Great on Purpose is geared towards adults. So all the colors I use, they're chakra colors. So there, when you wearing it, it's gonna promote and stimulate whatever chakra color that is. I
Yeah,
want to do speakers, so I use a lot of blue. you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then, when somebody sees Be Great on Purpose, it's a mantra. So when they see it and they read it, it should give a natural energy of positivity, you know. It's a standard. You know, man, be great on purpose. When I used to cut yards, and bro, that was my only job, cutting yards for a long time. And I was just telling my fiance, I'm trying to cut between 6 to 10 yards in this Texas heat. Like I ran a 400 and cramped up, but that ain't got shit on cutting no yards in this Texas heat.
Facts, for real
You
though.
know? So, but I had to survive to do it. So you got it in you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But I also didn't want nobody to say, "Who cut your yard?" Like, damn, that shit look trash. You
Yeah.
know? But nah, be great on purpose, cut my yard. Look good. And I wanted to hold that standard. And I even changed my name on social media to be great on purpose because when two or more come together in prayer about you, I don't want you sending no negative energy my way. So even if you feel bad, God, I hate be great on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always gonna end up positive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
towards me even better, you
I like
know.
that. Yeah, I like
And
that.
so I just, also like so the clothing line we have Be Great on BGOP247.com, which is a website that's built as a college. At one point I was trying to build a college, but it's built on self-development, entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. So it's ultimately a platform where I'm trying to invite more speakers, more people to put courses on, whether they sell them or whatever. But this needs to be like a mall for being great on purpose, no matter what it is you do. If you're a photographer, come on, let's do an intro to photography 101. Let's build our people up, give them a platform like a Udemy, like a Skillshare, something like that.
Yeah.
And then when you go back to business, the best marketing tool is a t-shirt, you know. So using that, looking at Lance Armstrong building a lifestyle brand. So I want to build a tribe of people that's being great on purpose. When you see them rocking their gear, you know, yeah, this is an intellectual right here. This is sapiosexual clothing. This is, thinkers. This is somebody whose lights turned on,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nah, and that's what we need to do. Like, and I always, this is one thing I'm big about with the CEO Youth League. We got to make this the new cool because right now the kids get drawn to the streets and all the, all the negative stuff because it's seen, even though it's negative and they know it, they get the concept that it's negative, but it's still, that's the cool thing. That's the it thing. So that's like with the wealth is gangster. When I was talking to some preachers about it, because they ain't kind of like that gangster part, but I like the people that I go after, the youth that I go after. They need to realize that what I'm doing when I'm messing with chickens, when I'm messing with bees, what we doing right now, just kicking good positive energy and knowledge. That stuff is gangster too. It ain't about no shooting up nobody or doing nothing crazy, going to do 20 years. To me, that ain't and that's why I got the book coming out next month, The Streets Lied to Us, because it goes back into the whole realm of this stuff needs to be cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff you build, and you just talk about the website being a spot where being great on purpose is it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to push. That's the new cool. This got to be the new hip. This got to be what they talking about on social medias and the TikToks. We need some challenges about how to be great on purpose challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of stuff that we need, but it needs to be regular, not just something that comes and goes. It needs to be a part of our culture.
So, bruh, one of the things I'm trying to do, and maybe this is something we can look at the partner too. Like, I got the trademark on the clothing line. I got it registered on the blockchain too.
While
Uh,
you talking, show some of the hoodies. Yeah, man, show some of the hoodies while you talking. You can keep talking though. Just show some of them though.
so, like, one of the things I particularly want, and I like, are the inside of the tag. Okay, from the camera.
Oh, yeah, that's fresh. That's official
And
right there. That's official right there. We got the website and everything.
you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.
Yes, sir.
So even like this, eventually I want to get some of our younger kids. Let's put together the CEO Academy line and sell it as a fundraiser that they design so they get that experience too. But it's
Yeah,
trademarked and so forth. But I want to give young designers a platform where we're trying to get it out the mud.
yeah.
Um, So like this, the hoodies this season is a puff. I'm doing puff letters, so they're kind of like 3D.
That's fresh,
They
man.
raise up off. I got dreads. With my dreads, I was getting lint in my dreads because I love a good hoodie. So I went and got the satin lining for all
Yeah. Okay.
these.
Okay. Yeah. That's what you call attention to details. You feel me?
Yeah. So all the beauticians, your clients, is good for them. Just like that bonnet they wear, it's in their hoodies now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope.
Man,
That's
so
like the
like
leather jackets type. Oh man.
Letterman,
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
embroidery on the back, keep the tag on the inside.
Oh yeah,
But
man.
the idea behind this is, like I said, when you rocking it, people gonna see you in an intellectual pride. You
Yeah.
doing something with yourself. When
Yeah.
you see somebody in this is somebody you want to network with. This ain't nobody that's just laying on the couch. You know,
And tell us about the elephant. What's the concept of the elephant? Because I mean I don't know if because I'm one of my mentors that they say every family organization, every family corporation needs a animal, like you know what I'm saying, like Polo got the horse, you know. So is that your thing, or is it like mine is the falcon? So I got some stuff that I'm putting together. It's gonna be the falcon, and I got the reasons why I chose the falcon. Did you just pick the elephant, or is it real strategic on why the elephant is part of your trade?
so the elephant is the key to our line. In 2 weeks, I had a polos with the elephant collar and the trim, go with the Jordan and all that. Got
Yeah,
another line of hoodies that'll be here where the inside will be the elephant print.
yeah,
But as a spirit animal, an elephant symbolizes love. It symbolizes intelligence. As an animal itself, it's the most intelligent animal. It has a deep history of memory. It's a family oriented animal. It's a mammal like us. Um, then just appearance. It's big, but it's also symbolic of our struggle. Because as a culture, that same taming that elephant with that little ass rope is that same mental block we trying to fight too.
yeah,
We trying
yeah.
to break through that chain. So that's what that elephant symbolizes.
And I'm glad. I'm glad that you, because I figured when I seen it, because most people they don't just throw an animal on there. Most of the time it symbolizes something. Because the funny thing about it, when I was going through my family corporate, when I was going through my family business and what was going to be my family animal, I went through, I think, the penguin. That was really going to be the one. And it was, you know, like I say, and it's got different reasons why the penguin was going to be one, but elephant was one of the ones on my list too. I ended up settling with the falcon for different reasons, and I go through my reasons on that another time. But but everything you said was the same reason: the smart and the mental environment when it comes to like circus, how they can control that with that string because they've been taught that since birth. But every now and then you'll see an elephant break that string and just say, "Forget this," because they realize that I'm stronger than this one little man. You know what I'm saying? And so I had a lot of those wrote down. So when I seen the elephant, I was wondering if you had a reason for it, because most people don't just throw it on there just random. It's always a reason for something like that, especially when you put it in the middle of your brand. You know,
Yeah.
that's big. So I salute that, man. I'm gonna have to. That's some fresh stuff right there. I'm gonna have to come pull up and grab me something and help push that for real, man. So what we doing is what's okay. We right now you got the merch. Is that part of like your mentoring in your curriculum and stuff, or are you just gonna keep that merch and just keep the impossible to keep everything else going?
Um, both. So again, right now where I'm at, where I'm possible, we're supposed to have a facility built, but we got hit with. We were supposed to have one built in Harker Heights, but we got hit with the person next door got a liquor license, so that didn't work. We had some places offered to us, but we couldn't do the full program. So I have a mental focus, 7 mil, 24 months. I'm buying this piece of property. I go speak at a seminar in October, and we just everything I'm doing is going towards getting this facility for Impossible. So the BGOP is I still push the mental side. Like we just had a summer course in CTC.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I got content online. I'm steady adding courses too. Everything you buy or purchase is to support on possible, but it's also to have a mental for profit at the same time because, like you said, we're trying to conquer territory, and I want to be able for us to play in all fields with no limitations. If I don't got it, you got it. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So we can play efficiently, but just trying to grow. Be great on purpose itself is a self-development entrepreneurship brand, and I'm wanting and looking for other content creators in those fields to come help us feel. I want to be great on purpose to be like a mall.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
that's dope because, like I said in my presentation, I did one of the things I talking about when I said clothe thyself. I was talking about the whole distribution line. Like right
mhm,
now, okay, I got my RTR hoodie on, right?
mhm,
And that's cool. I used to take super pride in being able to go get some hoodies on wholesale and print and put my print on it, right?
mhm.
And I got my Wealth is Gangster shirts, the CEO Youth League shirts, all that stuff cool. But what's even deeper, it's even better if we own the field that produced the cotton, and then we own the plant that brought the cotton in, and we hiring people to manufacture our hoodies. You know what I'm saying? The different brands, and then we got the trucks that's owned by us that pulls up and they load the truck. Then we take them to our stores and we sell them at our stores. We need the whole distribution line. Most of us, we only get it. We have a little store and we don't even own that building. We rent that building out. But that's normally the only side of the distribution line that we see. We buy it wholesale and we try to sell it. You know what I'm saying? At the
Yeah,
store. But we need
yeah,
that whole distribution line. So when you talk about people there's designers and people that can sew and stuff like that, when you talk like that, that's the first thing I hear. You got a brand, but when you hiring people that can do all that other stuff, now we developing a distribution line.
absolutely. And one of the things I even I'm big on that, but also playing to where we are at that level. So
Yeah, yeah,
like this time around, and what took me so long to actually get a product I was proud of, I've been looking for local people, but I went overseas this time, and I'm chatting with people. Boom, who's your owner? Who's this? So I got a dark skinned Arabian family, and we talk, we share pictures and stuff, but we're looking to build a 10-year relationship.
yeah,
So so now using starting somewhere to get to that, because that is the ultimate goal. So like now I'm trying to build the awareness behind the brand, even going as far as going registering to go to the Vegas trade shows, boom, boom, boom.
yeah,
In the website and the clothing, it doesn't go back to the merchandise. It goes back to where all the speakers are going to be, where you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Then I sit this brand anywhere in this is to motivate that mind side core. So
Nah, that's dope, man. And you know what the next level to what you already doing is? What the vision Nipsey had when you can just put your phone up to the tag and they can go to the site. I mean, you were already there. Now it's just about connecting that two worlds because you already got the brand and the tag there. So now we
yeah,
just need to figure out how somebody can scan that tag with their phone and everything can pop up. That,
we're
that that's the next level to that.
yeah, it's already on Google, Amazon,
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's already in the mode. So that's big, man. So what's your in wrapping it up? I definitely before you get out of here, I want to use to put all the your social media platforms or where people can contact you at. But what's the vision? What you see in the next 3-5 years? What's your plans? Where are you going to? I know you talked about raising the money to build the impossible facilities. I know the Be Great on Purpose is the movie you pushing. So what if those are your two main things, what you envision that looking like in the next 3 years, 3 to 5 years?
So in the next 3 years, whoo, shit. In the next 3 years, you're going to get a facility with a gym, two gyms. You're going to have the Be Great on Purpose Sports League. we'll be in the schools. I'm already talking to one of the high schools here about having a program in there. Through there, we'll run a sports program. My son goes to early college high school, so I'm trying to help. I got some resources that help me with the sports program, so I'm trying to even through early college not having a sports league with like the regular high schools, tie them into my league as well. Have a lot more speakers and people that are motivated and empowered just coming out of our area. Um, I'm really big on helping people. I would like to be helping a lot more people. I'm in the background. I like to be in the background, so I just like to help without really
You
just
having to be out there on the front line.
yeah,
Yeah, just giving the advice, the consultation, and the expertise of guiding the different things, because that's what we need. We need less people worried about being in
mhm,
front and more people executing behind the scenes. That's the thing that we don't do as a coach. I was telling my wife that my word for the next 6 months really is a lifelong word, but just is execute. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Execute and accomplish. Those are two. Because I be sometimes I have my hands in a lot of different things, and sometimes I have a lot of things going on, but I don't finish this thing. I don't finish that. Like my book been done for months, and it should have been out, but I'm doing so many other things that I put it on the back burner. No, execute and finish that, and then go to the next. Execute and
yeah.
finish that. So sometimes we do a lot of things, but we don't close them out and don't have. You know what I'm saying?
You
So
talking to me? You
yeah, so
talking to me?
execute. We got to execute right now. That's what we got to do. We got to execute, man. So that's the part, and I definitely want to chop it up behind the scenes because, man, like I say, you got so much value, but we do need to partner on multiple different things. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another problem that we have. We already have limited numbers of people with the same vision doing
Mhm.
it, but we even have out of the ones that's doing it, we have even lower numbers of the ones that's coming together to do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Uh,
we
yeah.
outnumber.
Can I say something to that?
Yes, sir.
So, like, for me personally, like, I'm in a lot better situation. I done went through some things too. But just speaking in general, like, we have to be patient with each other, right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes we have to grow through some things to be able to learn to work together.
yeah,
And I was struggling learning how to really work together. Regis said something to me. I didn't understand what he meant, but he said, "Nigga, you need a girlfriend." He said, "You need a girlfriend."
yeah.
So yeah, I have my fiance now, and I
You
see what it
understand?
means.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so much I didn't intentionally miss, I should say, and I don't know if we ever intentionally set out to miss anything, but it's a
yeah.
lot of things I just didn't see because of different levels of partnerships. But
And
so
like I say,
it's
this
time.
is new to us. This is new to us. We wasn't born into this world. We wasn't born watching our moms and dad handle business, good and bad. We don't know how. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to deal with business relationship or this and that, and the different things that come up and downs. Because we don't even know how to deal with regular relationships, and we got to learn that part too. So we have a struggle with relationships, period. And that's with your significant other or business. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be trials, tribulations, ups and downs, and sometimes we don't know because we're not from that world, so we get mad and we get uh just in our selfish mode and be like it's about me. And that's why I always try to lead, because I have to learn that. Coming from the streets, you think about, man, forget them, I'm one deep, I can do this by myself. You can't think like that trying to run organizations and corporations. You need people. I don't care how many people you fell out with. I don't care how many people that came and got fired. I tell people all the time, Walmart hiring fire people every day. They keep it going. They don't get frustrated because this didn't work out. Some, like in our culture, some go bad one time. That's why I ain't dealing with them no more. I ain't dealing with nobody. You know what I'm saying? We quick to say that and not try to understand maybe that was the wrong timing, or maybe we was both looking at it wrong, or maybe we just both didn't understand it. The blame can go both ways, especially when it comes to business relationship, because we all new to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily blaming, but it's like we all have our valleys and stuff we have to grow to. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Um, Yeah, just ourselves. We gotta grow.
Understanding level. I need to be able to understand instead of be like, oh man, forget the way you think because I think that's dumb. I need to figure out why do he think like that? Because I was talking about it on the interview the other night. I was like, you can see something and I can see something. It's the same thing, right? We looking at the same object, but we can both see something different because your experiences in life different than my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's what we got to understand. Like, even if I feel like I'm right, just because you see it wrong don't make you crazy. That means you just see it, you visualize something different with that same object. You know
But
what I'm saying?
the side I'm trying to say, I got the words for it.
Yeah.
Like you say, you do a million things, right? So like for me, I'm trying to finish. I had my course, and I was gonna put it. I'm getting make some adjustments for the school. Then I stopped to start my book. Then I got the merchandise. So I boom, boom, boom. And in the midst of me jumping and not finishing my stuff, I'm not like even just to be present when you're talking to me to see the opportunity there versus nah, I got this going, I got this going. He busy with that, you know. So just making that mental effort to allow others to even exist and not just get caught up in our grind.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's important, man. So you said you see the facility in the next 3 years, you got the course going on, and so those the two top in your vision. That's what it's about right now. That's all it's about. Give people your social medias and where they can find, where they can help, where they can donate, where they can go to check out the courses and stuff had there. Give us all your social medias.
Uh, on every platform, be great or BDOP 254. If you go to Google, put in Impossible Paradigms or just Impossible Teen Center, you'll find where to donate to the youth program. Yeah, we're everywhere. Just put us in Google. We'll be there.
Man, well, say I appreciate you coming on today. I definitely I want to talk to you off camera because like I said, we definitely need to lock in because me building the CEO Youth League Academy. One thing I got like an invest in this cool course right now, right? But I'm not from that world of courses. So I got it in my mind what I want to say, and I got even some PowerPoints typed up. But to turn it into an actual course, that's not my field. You know what I'm saying? That's not my field. So you know me when it comes to ideas, when it comes to strategies, I never run out of that. But the execution of that, that's the part in the website build, all that type of stuff. That's the part that I definitely need to sit down with you and talk about. And like a vice versa, like I said, I want to bring you in on the CEO Youth League side, and then and vice versa, things you got going in. I want to come in and we can pull and bring value and resources to each other. You know what I'm saying? So I want to sit down with you and talk to you off camera about that, man. So, but is there any last words, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
First, I want to say it to you. We get together off camera, but I'm in Temple too. So just to sit down and chop it up, it don't even got to be to just playing nothing.
Yeah.
Boom.
Just a conversation.
Yeah. And to everybody else, man, it's a Steve Jobs quote. Those crazy enough to believe they can change the world are the ones that usually do. Hey y'all, man, they've been calling us crazy. Now let's just be crazy enough to change it. Like, by any means necessary, be great on purpose.
For real, be great on purpose. And man, I almost forgot about it. I had it in my notes, so I'm glad I looked down. Because I remember you talked about it when I seen you at the event downtown. So you're working with the organization Horny Toe. What was the way y'all giving back and y'all initiative when y'all doing a certain companies? Can you run that down to the people?
So I'm a marketing manager for our Harley Davidson here in Temple, Horny Toe, Harley Davidson. So for a lot of organizations, I can help you raise money. My job number is 254-743-7200 or put in Harley Davidson and we'll come up. But we can help you raise money. We can do anything on our facility, whether it's a car wash or bake sale. If y'all want to do a cookout, I can help you with getting the food for the cookout, providing certain things. I don't want to, it's the broad field, but I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
with me, and I'm very passionate about the community. So I'm really trying to put us in a position to help a lot more people in the community than what we do.
That's big, and I'm definitely gonna be getting with you for the CEO Youth League. We definitely need to do something, an event up there, do a situation up there, man. Well, man, say, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro, and like just sitting down here happy because, I mean, we talked briefly at the downtown event, and I know we're friends on social media, so we know of what each other's doing. You know what I'm saying? But just to sit down and talk to you, we ain't had no sit down in a while. Even though this over the internet, it just still. You still got that same vibe, that same spirit, and the thing that brought us together at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? There's just a similar visions and a similar drive for wanting to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Things in life go up and down, and sometimes things don't work. But for us to be able to sit down and still be ready to put something together right now, that's the part that needs to be celebrated, and we need to act on it. Like I say, execute, not just talk about it. Like when we get off the camera, actually put some stuff in place where in the next month or two we got this event, we got that, we got something together that we promote to the people that can show it instead of us just talking about it. We can actually put something together and present it to the people that we're doing it as a brand. Wealth is Gangster, be great on purpose. You know what I'm saying? CEO Youth League, I'm possible. However we connect it, we just need to put something powerful together that's going to be good for the culture that we can present to the people, man, and really push it, man. So, like I say, we're gonna talk about that off camera, but I want to say that on camera, even though the talk gonna be done off camera. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all can hold us accountable.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I tell, like last year when I said my book gonna be done. My book wasn't even done. I wanted people. I got like 100 people like it, and people talk about ordering it. Now I had to go do it. I made myself because I know I was prolonging it. I'm like, man, I'm playing. You know what? Today I'm gonna post talking about my book, and the response made me go get down and finish it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we need to put that public pressure on ourselves to make ourselves hold ourselves accountable to raise those standards. Because sometimes we can talk about it, and then it could be another 6 months. Like, man, I ain't even talked to Van since the last interview. But when we put that energy out there like that, now we need to be putting something together and presenting it to the people ASAP. Now we ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Now we ain't got no choice because publicly we put pressure on ourselves to do positive and impactful work.
Yeah, bro. Even like one of the first conversations we got to have is getting your book out. Already got how you get tied to the CEO Academy, how we gonna make it a whole program and course for you.
Yeah.
Everything you do. So yeah, let's do it.
That's definitely why I want to do it because I know you. When it comes, like I say, you're a natural teacher. You're naturally in that field, and I'm not naturally in that field. I'm just I'm going in that lane. But why not? If you got a brother that's doing the work that's naturally in that field, that's wanting to link. Why not link? You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. The different assets and different resources that come with me too. So I know the resources and the value that you bring, and the resources and value that I bring. Why keep them apart? You feel me? So that's definitely what we'll talk about on camera, man. So, but I want to thank everybody that came out today. People in the chat saluting and talking about how good of an interview it was. And we'll be coming back. Like I like to do my first initial interviews with people for their first time, just to talk about them. But next time we come back, we'll have a topic, we'll have a subject, or we'll be presenting what we're doing or what we're about to put out. You know what I'm saying? So you will see some action done off this interview the next time you see me and him on camera together. We won't just be on camera together without nothing to present to y'all. We're going to have something to show.
Bruh, if anything ever happens to me, I want this to be on camera. I love you. I'm so proud of what you're doing, bruh. You're a man of your word. I salute you. You motivate me. You inspire me. Keep going, bro. I'm so proud of you.
I love back, man. I appreciate hearing those words from you, man. Like I say, that's why I said it on camera because we gonna do something. I'm talking about starting ASAP. We not gonna be 2 weeks, a month. We finna start doing something. If we talk later on today or tomorrow or something, we need to get on the line, start brainstorming some stuff. You tell me where I can bring value to you, and I already got some things where I know you can bring value to me. I'm writing them down as we talk. You know what I'm saying? So let's swipe it out and let's build together, man. I appreciate you coming on. It's nothing but love, and let's build, man. I got my boy Van in here from Be Great on Purpose. I'm Possible, and we checking out.
Peace.
Peace.